know some of you are tired of being victims, tired of being told you can't achieve your dreams. You want to achieve your goals, that the things in life you want to do, you can't do, that the things you want in life are unreachable. I know you are tired of hearing that. That is why I'm talking to you today. Because today, I want you to fight back. Fight back for what you believe in. Fight back for what you want to achieve. Fight for your dreams, fight for your goal. Sometimes you're not just fighting for yourself. Sometimes you're fighting for your friends. Sometimes you're fighting for your family. Make certain you fight back. Yes, I know. They told you can't do this. You might as well give up. You will never achieve what you set out to achieve. Well, that's the thing about greatness, about being a champion. No one expected you to make it, but you go out and do it anyway. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
Hey, and welcome to module number 1. This is the introduction and quick overview of the free Facebook traffic generation video course. And just want to welcome you and congratulations to you for taking the next step to getting started. So we got a lot to cover. What I want to do today in this specific video is just to cover the modules so you know exactly what to expect and what tools that you're going to need. So in this specific module number 1, we have video number 2, which is going to be creating an action plan for your business. So obviously before we get started and before we talk about how you can drive traffic, how you can brand yourself, and how you can create your content, you need to have a customized action plan in place for your specific business. Otherwise, everything that I teach you is not going to be personalized. So I want to make sure that you succeed, and by doing so, we're going to cover that in video number 2. From that point on, we're going to jump right into module number 2. So we've got 4 different modules. So module 2 is going to be about getting your brand ready for Facebook. So a lot of people make the mistake of jumping right in, trying to understand how to drive traffic to their business, to their website, and things like that. But they tend to forget about branding themselves. Like, you need to have your logo, you need to have some slogans, you could have a mascot to increase your brand reach, and there's all these other little things that you could do as well. So we jump right in and talk about that. So even if you have a company that is branded, you have your logo, you have your mascot, and things like that, then this is good information that you can use to verify that you're going the right way, or if you're just starting from scratch, then you can use this information to make sure that you're going the right way. And that brings us to module number 3. We're going to talk about free Facebook traffic. So once you have branded yourself and you figure it out, okay, I have a brand, I'm ready to go all out, now I can put myself out there. So that's what we're going to discuss in module 3. Is there's going to be 6 videos in it that talk about free Facebook traffic, a specific strategy that is powerful. It's free, but you have to do it correctly. You have to set yourself up for success. And that brings us to module number 4, which is creating awesome content. I know a lot of people tend to get overwhelmed because thinking about, oh, I got to create content. Content creation takes time and things like that. But it really doesn't have to take a lot of time. In fact, the methods that I'm going to show you are super easy to implement. You can create content with rapid speed. And I'm going to show you all of that in that video. Now that we've covered the modules, I want to jump right in and talk about what you need before we get started. So you have an idea of, okay, if you don't have certain things here, then you can go all out and go on out and get it. And basically, I've stuck with the basics. You just need a customized game plan, which I'll talk about in the next video. Once you have that customized game plan, you can begin to implement all the stuff that I talk about and tell you. you need some money to invest. I'm going to say that up front right now, especially if you hire somebody to create a logo, to create educational videos for your entertainment videos for you, and things like that. But there are some leeway. If you have more money, then you can spend that money on outsourcing, getting other people to do it correctly. Or if you don't have as much money and you have more time, you obviously will need some more time to invest as well. Last but not least, but you're going to need a Facebook account and optional video creation tools. So if you want to create your own videos, you can do it. We're going to be using Animoto and several other tools as well. But you can also do this yourself. You can hire somebody to do it for you, or you can do it yourself. So with that said, let's go ahead and go to video number 2 and create a customized game plan so that you have that in hand. You know exactly what to do, and you can begin to implement it and get closer to success and to your goal. So let's move on. Hey, and welcome back. This is video number 1, creating an action plan for your business. Now, this video is going to be fairly quick, but I want to make sure that I cover the basics and point out a few things before we actually jump right in, right? All right, so for this exercise, what I want you to do is pause this video right now. Pull out a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm going to go through some questions that I want you to begin to jot down the answers to so that you have it in hand when we actually go into the modules themselves. It'll actually make your life a lot easier to implement. So the question is, where are you right now? I want you to think about where you are right now in terms of branding yourself, traffic, and content. So what are you doing right now that is working? What are you doing right now that is not working? If you have an idea of what's working, what's not working, you'll actually get a more clear idea as we actually go through the video course itself. You'll actually find epiphanies. You'll be like aha moments as we go through the video course, because it'll apply to you and what you're doing rather than in general. So if you can jot down, just pause for a moment and jot down, where are you now in terms of what you're doing? Branding wise, do you have a logo? You don't have a logo. Or do you have a mascot? You don't have a mascot. Are the colors that you're using specifically in the logo itself related to the demographics that you're trying to reach? Or are the colors that you're using, because in itself, colors are powerful. They actually create an environment that creates in the subconscious mind how somebody's going to feel. Like, for example, orange. Orange could be for really exciting type. You want to take action right now, stuff like that. Blue, and especially dark blue, helps the user think, okay, I'm at ease, I'm learning, this is peaceful, stuff like that. And maybe this is not something that you've thought about, and maybe this is something that you can think about actually implementing in your business. So I want you to jot down where you are right now. So same with branding. Like, do you have a logo, slogan, mascot? What are you trying to convey? Who is your audience? Do you know your demographics? Because if you don't, you're pretty much hitting and missing in terms of branding, in terms of conversions and things like that. Because if you don't know the frame of mind that somebody is in when they're looking at your website, like what kind of problems that they're facing, what kind of solutions they're looking for, and things like that. Because if you know it, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Your conversion is going to be a lot better, and things like that. And when they leave your site, branding is key, so it's going to stick in their minds, right? So pause this video now, jot down the answers to these questions so that it's going to help you later down the road. Let's talk about traffic. Traffic, like what type of traffic are you getting now? Besides Facebook, what is working for you? What is not working for you? In terms of the media, like social media realm, is LinkedIn working for you? Is it not working for you? What are you doing? Why is it not working? If you're trying Facebook, why is it not working for you? What might be working? And what I mean working, In terms of Facebook, it's all about interaction. So are you getting interaction? Are you getting likes? Are you getting comments, or, replies, and things like that? Those are considered successes. They may not be necessarily conversion successes, but they are successes because you're engaging your visitors. Because when somebody engages with you, they are interested. And you got to think about it. Facebook is a totally different animal. Make sure that you're not selling directly. Make sure you're not saying something like, hey, go buy my product. Rather, you want to sell indirectly. And I know that might be something totally different and totally opposite than you're used to, but guess what? You have to follow the Facebook in terms of selling stuff in an entertaining way. And that brings us to the last point, which is content. What kind of content are you currently providing? Are you providing a mixture of content, a written content, video, pictures, or just one type of content? So one thing a lot of people tend to make a mistake of is, in terms of content, they provide one specific content piece: written, video, or pictures. Not all three. You want to have all three, simply because you have three different types of learning types. You have visual, you have auditory, and you have kinesthetic. Kinesthetic type people will want to follow along as they do it. Visual people will tentatively watch the video first and they'll actually do it. So if you're a visual person, most likely you're going to watch this whole video and do it afterwards. And then auditory, they prefer to read text and listen to audio and things like that. So with that said, let's move on to the next module, which we actually talk about branding and how you can go about using colors, creating good logos, perhaps revamping your logo and mascots, using those to increase your brand, and much more. Hey, and welcome to module number 2. We're going to talk about getting your brand ready for Facebook. Are you ready? All right, let's get started. So video number 4 is going to be about company slogans that stick. If you don't already have a company slogan, it might be good to start creating one, because when somebody leaves your Facebook page or they come to it, you want to be remembered by something that is there to solve their problems, is there for them, and things like that. So whenever they have that problem, they're going to think about you. So we're going to talk about that in video number 4. Number 5, we're going to talk about tapping into the subconscious mind with colors. Did you know that the colors of your logo and the colors that you use on your website create an environment and a feel? And if you use the wrong colors that are really not related to your niche, then you can create a totally different feel and environment. So you want to make sure that you're using the right colors, and we actually go deep into different colors, how to figure out what the different colors mean, and go about doing that so you have an idea of creating a game plan for branding wise. Then we go to video number 6, which is creating your logo. If you don't have a logo, then this is going to be great for you. If you do have a logo, then this is still going to be great information about how to minimize your logo costs. And I'm going to actually show you how you can create a logo and get other people to do it for you legitimately less than $5 to $20. And I know that's a big reduction in terms of what most of you are used to. Most of you are used to hiring a logo designer for about $100, $200, or $300 just to get that done. So I'm going to show you how to get it professionally created. You don't have to worry about, oh, is this logo going to be not very professional? You don't have to worry about that. So there is a way to get that done. Then we talk about, in video number 7, upgrading your logo if you have old logos and graphics. Because if your old logo is not up to date, it looks really old, then that's what people are going to think when they think of your company. So that's the perceived value that you put on your company if you have an older logo. And of course, if your logo is fuzzy or it's outdated and you want to upgrade it, I'll show you how to do that. And that brings us to video number 8, which is branding your company by using mascots. This is not necessarily a have to, but it helps if you have mascots, especially if you're making videos online, you're trying to brand your specific videos with mascots or even use mascots that can relate specifically to your demographics. So with that said, let's jump right in. In this specific video, we're going to be talking about how you can create memorable slogans for your company that stick in your customers' minds. So obviously you want to make it memorable, but how do you make it memorable? Well, what are the primary benefits? What I want you to do is just right now think about this, or take a pen and a paper or pencil paper out and just think, what are your primary benefits? Think about 2 to 3 of the primary benefits of your company and just jot them down. Another thing you can also do is differentiate your brand in comparison with your competitors. But before you can do this, obviously you need to know who your competitors are and how they're branding themselves, what slogans that they're using, and how do you differ from them. And relate that to the benefits somehow. You could do something that's related to customer satisfaction, like customer support or something like that, something that's great. And solidify the brand by re-emphasizing the name in your logo. You could also do stuff like rhyme and jingles. And one thing you can do is, these are just ideas that you can use, but you could take any of these and combine them to create more power in your branding for your slogan. So you could have the primary benefit, you could have as the kind of USP. And when I say USP, I mean unique selling proposition. What differentiates you from your competitors? So let me show you how to go about doing this, give you examples of companies and their slogans and how they could be standing out compared to their competitors, and how you can figure out what your competitors are doing and things like that. And I'll show you how to do a rhyme and jingle as well. Okay, so right now I'm at google.com here, and I'm going to show you some examples of some memorable slogans. So I was at Subway today, and they have a slogan that says "Eat Fresh." Now, Subway, their angle is all about sub sandwiches and so forth. So, Eat Fresh obviously emphasizes to people that their foods are fresh. And that's what people want to know. They want to know, is this food fresh? You know, they want to know, does it taste good? Stuff like that. Or Nike, for example. Nike is "Just Do It." It's just simple, easy slogan that doesn't necessarily describe the benefits of the product itself, but it describes more of an action. Another example is Arby's, and Arby's slogan is "Slicing Up Freshness." So you kind of get an idea here how important the slogan is to basically back up the actual brand name. So think about a slogan as a way to back up the brand name. Now let's talk about how you can do some research on your competitors and how to figure out their company brand, their slogans, and things like that. One specific tool that I like to use is keywordspy.com. And another one is called SpyFu, which is very similar to keywordspy.com. Now, both of these tools give you the ability to do research on your competitors. Now, you can figure out what competitors are using in terms of keywords, but we're primarily interested in who are our competitors. So let's say, for example, that I type in Arby's. So as you can see here, this is Arby's, and we can see the ads they're using, the competitors that they have. So if we click on competitors, these are their competitors. So we got Wendy's, which is another competitor. What I like to do is simply just go to these websites, and I'll highlight this, search Google for Wendy's. And look at their slogan. Okay, so if I go to Google, type in Wendy's slogan, you can see that it says the slogan is "It's way better than fast food." So when somebody eats fast food, they probably feel horrible afterwards. So if you emphasize, hey, while this is fast food, it's better than fast food, that's definitely a catchy slogan and can appeal to certain people. So keywordspy.com is a great place to find your competitors, as well as spyfu.com as well. So simply basically figure out the domain of your competitors, type this in, and start going back to Google, type in the company name, space slogan, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're up against. If you can do at least research on maybe about 10 to 15 different competitors and just see what's in common in terms of all of these different companies and their slogans, it gives you a better idea of your market and creating a slogan for yourself. Now let's talk about rhyme and jingles. Let's say you were to take these words like slicing up freshness or things like that and creating a rhyme and jingle. There's a specific site that I like to use. It's called rhymezone.com. And all you have to do is basically enter a word and it'll give you words that rhyme with that word. So you could say something like fresh and click search. And it gives you a list of all the words that rhyme with fresh. And that's a really easy way to create rhymes and jingles is simply by using this specific site. In this specific video, we're going to be talking about the power of colors, how to use colors to sell your products and your services. Did you know that colors can create many different environments and make people feel a sense of peace, calm, urgency, and more? If you think about it, the way you react to colors, you might have gone to an environment and thought, wow, I feel really at peace. And then you've gone to a website or a video and they're using, let's say, for example, orange or red, and you feel this sense of urgency. Well, that's a powerful method by using colors to tap in to the subconscious mind. So I want to show you how to use colors properly. And the colors that you use will brand what you are trying to express inside your logo, on your website, on your videos, and the media that you use. So you want to make sure that you use the right colors for your graphics in your website and so forth. So what do the colors mean? Let me show you how you can figure this out so you can find the right colors for you and your business. Okay, so what I want you to do is hop on over to google.com and at this point search logo color meetings and click on images and click on this first one here. And if you click on full size, then you're going to be able to see the image itself. Now, as you can see here, it says blue. We got color column, qualities that you want to promote, professions best suited to. So it even tells you, okay, blue is good for corporate, high-tech, medical, government, and legal. And you'll notice that with a lot of government sites, you'll notice that there's dark blue as the color. A lot of times you'll see dark blue and white or dark blue and orange depending on the specific profession or business. And as you can see here, blue also expresses professional, trustworthy, calming, clean, and decisive. And what I like about this specific map is it gives you company examples like Bank of America and so forth. Black is strength, power, professionalism, accuracy, corporate, environment, financial, and so forth and so forth. And red tends to be like exciting, urgent, so forth and so forth. So for example, we have Arby's, and for those of you who don't know what Arby's is, it's basically a kind of a fast food place that sells roast beef sandwiches. So if I go to Google and I type in Arby's and I click on images, you can see here that their logo is just purely red. And it gives you that sense of urgency or hungry or something. So I like to use this map just because it's just easier. That way you don't have to do a lot of thinking and you can figure out what niche you're in, what business sector you're in. Then you want to figure out, okay, what do I want to portray? Is my product or service really exciting? Is it youthful? Is it traditional? Is it idea, creativity driven, and so forth and so forth. So I would look at this specific map as you can see here. And you can also go to other sites as well. And just make sure that the source that you're reading from is actually a legitimate source and that the color meanings that they're describing actually have to do with what we're talking about. So you can see black, white, red, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So if you know your demographics and who you're dealing with or who your buyers look like, then it's a lot easier to know and have an idea of what kind of colors you should go for. And that's it. So make sure that you take this information that I just taught you and figure out the colors that you want to use and take some action. In this specific video, I'm going to show you how to get your logo created if you don't have one, or if you have one and you want to redesign it and upgrade it. I'm also going to show you how to go about doing that as well. And I'm also going to show you how to get cheap yet retain the quality of your logo. And when I say cheap, I'm not talking about $100 to $200. I'm talking about anywhere from $5 to $25 for a super high quality logo. Okay, step number one, go to google.com and type in your niche or your topic and then logo. So let's say, for example, in this example, I am a company that deals with accounting. So accounting logo. So type that in, click on images, and just see kind of a glimpse of all the logos that deal with accounting. And you don't have to really look at every single one of these, but what I want you to do is just scan through it and kind of see what they look like. I'll give you some ideas here. And as you're going through it, just pick out stuff that you really, really like that stands out to you. And also get a glimpse of the colors that are being used. Like I see a lot of greens and a lot of dark blues. And let's say that I like this one. I'm going to open that in a new tab. Maybe this one. And I like the arrows. Kind of emphasizes some sort of numbers that are moving up. Okay, so now that I've gotten my three that I like, I got this one, and this one. And this one's using blue, this one's using orange and black, and this one is using green and gray. Now let's talk about the color meanings. You'll notice that I've been looking for certain colors in a specific niche. Colors mean a lot, and colors can really express a lot about your brand. Because if somebody looks at a specific color, they're going to suddenly feel a certain thing. So if we go back here to Google and we type in logo color meanings, and if you click on this here, this gives you an idea of what the colors actually mean. So we see a lot of blues, a lot of oranges, and a lot of greens. Blues, corporate, high tech. Let's see here, we got oranges, which is youthful, dynamic, creative, enthusiastic, and educational, green, and so forth. So you want to figure out, okay, the three different logos that you like, the colors that you want to use, and then once you have those in hand, then what you need to do is you need to find a graphic designer. I recommend Fiverr.com, so simply go to Fiverr.com. Okay, so now that we're at Fiverr.com, in the search box here, simply type in logo. Click on rating here. So that way we have the best rated at the very top. And I'm going to simply just look at these. Like if I like the logos that are created, I'm going to open this up. Now you've got to read it because not all of these are logos. So logo concepts, let's see. And some people don't actually create the logos from scratch. They use graphics from sites. So you want to make sure that you check with the graphic designer whether they create it from scratch or not. You want somebody who can actually design a logo from scratch. And what I want you to do is open at least 6 to 10 different sellers because we're going to go through them and figure out which is the best person. Okay, so taking a look at this person's designs, not too bad. 14 days, I'm not going to wait that long, so I'm going to close that up. This is 5 days here, that's a lot better, and 100% gig rating, that's really good. And another way to tell if the graphic designer is actually doing what they're saying is if you look at all of their designs and see some sort of similarity, like this person does a really, really good job, in fact. But you can see the logos look very similar to each other. And it's 5 days, so I'm going to leave this as it is. No negative reviews, that's good. Got this person, 25 days. No, I'm not going to wait that long. 2 days. These logos are okay, not too up to date. And it's okay to be picky because you have to be picky because you're creating a logo that's going to brand you for the life of your company. Okay, so I've narrowed it down to 2 people. This person and I guess, okay, this is the only person that's left. Okay. And he's really good, or he or she is really good. 5 days, I will design 5 professional logo concepts. Wow, okay. So this person will design 5 different concepts, meaning 5 different types of logos for your specific company. So then you can choose from 5 different designs. And make sure you read this description here 100% refund if not satisfied. That's good. Wow, so this person then pretty much has 100% ratings, 5 days, and so forth. And really, really good designs. So with Fiverr.com, if you don't have an account, go ahead and create an account. They only accept PayPal, but as you can see, it's only $5. So create an account, order it, it's only $5, and sometimes they'll have options, but this person doesn't have any options. And looks like really good reviews. So what you need to do is basically order from this seller or any other seller that you choose, and basically make sure that if you are creating a brand new logo, then say, hey, I like this logo, I like this logo, and I like this logo. And the way you get access to these images is if you click full size image here, you simply just copy this URL into your Fiverr account. So that way when you're communicating with a graphic designer, you can tell them, hey, I like these 3 logos and I like this design and I want these specific colors. You can give them a better idea of what you're looking for. And that's the thing with graphic designers, is they're very creative minded. So while you need to give them freedom to do what they can do, give them flexibility to be creative, you still want to give them some guidelines. The worst thing that you can do is say, hey, create me a logo, and just don't really give them an idea. So you want to give them some sort of framework to go by, and gives them some freedom as well, and you're probably going to get a good logo. Now, if they don't make the perfect logo, you can always ask them to redo it or tweak it, here and there. But $5 is really not bad at all, and it's worth the wait for 5 days. Or another thing you can do is if you're in your rush, what I normally do is I email them and I say, hey, I need this within 2 days. I can't wait 5 days. If I pay you 2 gigs, if I buy 2 gigs, which is basically $10, or 3 gigs, can you do it in 2 days? So that's it. And if you're redesigning your logo, basically same thing applies. Give them your logo, but give them also the 3 different logos that you like and say, here's my logo. I want to transform this logo into something that looks similar to these logos over here. And that's it. In this specific video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade your fuzzy logo graphics to a vector. Now, if you don't know what a fuzzy logo is, a fuzzy logo are logos that lose their quality when expanded. So let's say, for example, you have a certain size logo and you want to use that logo on your t-shirts, but when you resize it, the quality is lost and it's basically fuzzy. And many of you will encounter this problem. And the solution is really to get a graphic artist to redesign your logo in Adobe Illustrator and turn it into what we call a vector. A vector can be expanded so large that it could reach a billboard size and not really ever lose its quality, because it's redesigned by a graphic artist in Adobe Illustrator as a vector. So how do you go about doing this? Is it expensive? How much does it cost? And it's really not expensive at all. I can show you how to get somebody to do it for anywhere from $5 to $10. So as you can imagine, a vector is basically a high resolution image that you can expand on, place on billboards, bigger banners, bigger print designs, t-shirts, cards, and more. Let me give you an example of a fuzzy logo, and I'm going to show you in just a few minutes how you can go about getting somebody to redesign your fuzzy logo. So this is an example of a logo that we took from a client, and as you can see, when it's expanded just in the PowerPoint slide itself, it's really fuzzy. So what we did was we basically had somebody vectorize the logo or turn the logo into a vector. And as you can see, it looks pretty much the same thing. So a graphic designer basically traced it so that and redesigned it in Illustrator so it looks clear. And you might say, well, how do I know this is really working? Because this is just a PowerPoint slide. Well, this is an example. Notice that when I expand it further, it's still very, very clear. And I could expand it further and further and further, and it would still be clear. So let me show you how you can go about doing this so you can take your fuzzy logo or any fuzzy graphic that you have and have a graphic artist redesign it. So what you need to do is open your internet browser and hop on over to a site called Fiverr.com, as you can see here. Fiverr.com is a place where you can hire people to do a lot of different services and a lot of different things like graphic design, logo design, and so forth and so forth. Now, we're talking particularly about vectors. So if you type in something like image to vector and do a search on it, and then click on rating so that you make sure that the highest rated people are at the top and go down from that point. And you're particularly looking for somebody who is going to turn your existing graphic into a vector. Since we're not getting as much results, we can go up here and type to convert to vector. It says I will design a vector logo or redraw and convert. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. I will convert your logo or image to a vector. Okay, that's what we're looking for. I will vectorize or redraw, trace, converts into a vector. And I'm going down here and I'm opening a bunch of these because what I'm going to do next is simply look at all of these to see which one's the best. I will design vector logo with Adobe Photoshop. Okay, good. I'll convert within 24 hours. And anytime you see express, that means that it's 24 hours. Okay, so I'm going to look at all of these. So we got 3 days, 100%, 3 days, 98%. And I'm going through here right now just looking at the ratings and how fast they can do it. So 2 days, 100%, 3 days, 100%, 24 hours, 100%. So that's actually more appealing to me. So what does this guy do? It says, I'll convert your logo and drawings into a vector graphics. Let's see here. No negative reviews, 29 positive reviews. Okay, good. So as you can see here, this is a good example of a vector. A vector, when you maximize the size, it's still clear. If it's a regular image, you resize it, it can get fuzzy. I will convert your logo. So we've narrowed it down to, we got 3 days, 3 days, 2 days, and 24 hours. The one thing I will do is it looks like everybody is really, really good. So what I would do normally is this. Create an account, contact the seller, and contact at least 3 sellers, see who responds the fastest, and say, this is my graphic, and send them the graphic. And say, hey, this is my graphic. Do you think you can do this fairly quickly and easily? And see who responds the fastest and the quickest and go with them. Because you'll notice that some of these people may be in a different country. And that's fine if that's the quality that they give you, because they have to give it within 2 days regardless. But the reason why I say who responds the fastest is that's a good measure of who actually is a good seller. Because if they respond faster, they actually care about helping you and so forth. So that's how to convert a logo into a vector and getting somebody else to do it. Just make sure that you contact them ahead of time to make sure that they can. In this specific video, we're going to be talking about how to use mascots to brand your company. Sports teams use mascots, and many other types of companies use mascots. And you can too, to help your fans associate your business to that specific mascot and get them excited about your company. Now, obviously, your logo can be the main representation of your business. But if you want to add some more power, use mascots to teach your videos, introduce your product lines, and so forth. That can actually be very helpful to your branding. So I'm going to show you how to find a mascot for your company. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, before I show you where to go to get really amazing mascots for your company, I want to give you an example of mascots not to use. Now, if you go to bigstockphoto.com, as you can see in my internet browser here, type in cartoon mascot and you'll see what I mean. Now, you have to be very particular about what kind of mascot is going to brand your company. Obviously, you don't want to pick something that is cheesy. Now, this might be okay, but this here may be a little outdated in terms of the design and everything. And as you can see, like, this is a little more updated, but depending on who your audience is, your audience may look at a puppy and think, this is really cheesy, I'm going to leave. So you need to be aware that your mascot could express something like, this looks like a tough shark. And this would probably be more appealing to men versus women. Now, you have to know your demographics in order to really tackle this. So I wanted to give you this example so that you could see what to avoid doing. Now, there's a particular site that I prefer and that I'd recommend that you go to called graphicriver.net. And this place has some amazing mascots. And not only that, it gives you the ability to change the mascots all around. So if I type here, mascot, as you can see here, you have access to many different mascots here. And depending on your business and depending on what you are trying to brand and trying to achieve, you want to pick the right mascot. Now, you want to have access to several mascots that are doing several things, because when you're introducing your products or trying to teach certain things, you don't want to have a picture of a guy that's just standing there. You want to bring life to your company. Like, as you can see here, we've got 6 different positions that this particular mascot is moving and things like that. And then, as you can see here, this gives you an idea. Okay, I can have thumbs up. I can have this guy maybe pointing at a video, or this guy's holding up a sign, so that gives me an avenue to use him if I want to put the product in here, and so forth. So the more the merrier in terms of mascots actually doing something and having different poses. And like this mascot, as you can see here, you got the ability to create your own personal mascot. And that's what I like about graphicriver.net, is because you have a lot of these mascots where if you have Adobe Photoshop, you can simply change these layers. These are little layers. Like, you could simply have this guy having a laptop here. And if you use Adobe Photoshop, you can see that you can change the colors, you can add objects. So you could find a different object and have him holding your product as the object or the icon. So you get the idea here that if you choose a mascot, make sure that you have the ability to customize the colors and add this and that and have them in different poses. And GraphicRiver.net has a ton of mascots, as you can see here. And that's it. So make sure that you use the stuff that I taught you in this specific video to find a good mascot that can really brand your company and really take you to the next level. Hey, and welcome to module number 3. We're going to talk about free Facebook traffic and how you can begin to start driving traffic to your Facebook page and so forth. So that brings us to video number 10. We're going to talk about the right mindset, quality over quantity. Basically, you want to focus on quality fans, not the quantity. Because a lot of times we can think about, oh, I've got 10,000 Facebook fans, but it really doesn't mean anything unless you really have good conversions. So you really, in the end, rather have 100 active, engaging, high engaging fans rather than 10,000 fans, right? Video number 11, we're going to talk about demographics and frame of mind. You want to make sure that you understand who you're trying to target. Who you're trying to target and what they're thinking and what their frame of mind is. Because then we can move on to providing content that actually solves their problems, that answers their questions, and more. And that brings us to the next video, which is high engagement groups. You definitely want to figure out, okay, who on Facebook in terms of groups are the highly active groups out there. And then of course you want to find the highly active fans and seek and find them and recruit them. And then of course you want to engage your fans and you want to go from that point and increase your engagement within your own Facebook fan page. And with doing that within the own Facebook ecosystem, you can actually increase your conversion rate phenomenally. And then from that point on, you can either outsource this, you can do this yourself, or if you just don't have a lot of time and you're a busy business person, you can always outsource this and automate the traffic generation process. You can either get your employee to do it. If you don't have an employee to do that, I'm going to show you how to go about doing this, getting somebody to do this for you. And frankly, it doesn't cost a lot of money to get this done. So let's jump right in. So there are many different ways that you can get traffic from Facebook. You can either use it for Facebook ads, you can get Facebook likes, Facebook fans to your fan page, and much more. But in this specific video, I want to focus on free Facebook traffic pertaining to quality, tightly focused fans over the quantity of fans. Because we can easily get as many fans as we can, but if you want to really increase your conversions and so forth, you really have to get into the mindset of, I'd rather have 100 active, engaging fans versus 10,000 fans that aren't really doing anything and are not really engaging with each other and with you and with your content. So the key here is, if we can get engaging fans or active fans to your fan page, therefore we can convert those fans into potential sales or even get your whole other fan base engaged. And once you increase your engagement, you will be able to increase the conversions of your traffic and so forth. So that's what I want to focus on in this specific series. So the whole concept here is to get people to your Facebook fan page, get them engaged, make sure that you're posting content on a frequent basis. And I'm going to answer a lot of questions in the future about what kind of content should you post, how frequently should you post, and things like that. Now, in order for this method to work, you have to understand your audience. You have to understand, who do you want to be part of your Facebook fan page. Now, the reason why we're not necessarily driving people right away from your Facebook fan page to your website is because we want to keep them within the Facebook ecosystem. If we can do that, then we can build a community first, build a relationship, and then you can sell. Because a lot of times people make the mistake of trying to sell up front, and that's not how you do it in Facebook. Now, the strategy here is, in order to get quality active followers and fans, you have to understand your demographic. In other words, you have to understand who you are trying to reach, and you have to understand the exact frame of mind the type of person that you're trying to reach is in. Because if you can understand, what keeps them up at night, what kind of problems they have, and things like that, then your ability of engaging them, understanding how to engage them, how to communicate with them, and how to get them to react in a positive manner to your products or to your niche and so forth. So what I want to do now is, in the next video, we're going to jump to video number 2, and we're going to talk about demographics, how to figure out the demographics of your audience, and as well as understand the frame of mind. Because once you understand this, which is a big step that a lot of people tend to miss out on, if you miss out on this step, then you won't be able to create an engaging community. And that's the whole goal here, is to help you get traffic, but also to get you traffic that converts. So let's jump over to video number 2. So let's talk about video number 2, which is demographics and frame of mind. Now, before we get to Facebook, I want you to know your demographics. In other words, I want you to have a picture of who you are trying to reach. And the more specific you are, the better. Because the more specific you are, the more you understand the person, how they feel, what the problems they face, and what kind of content, basically, that you can give them. So if you can know your demographics and the frame of mind that they are in, this will help you to increase engagement by providing good content that they want. So how do you do that? Well, there's a specific free tool that I use called quantcast.com. You may or may not have heard of it. But basically, you want to go to quantcast.com. So before you go to Facebook, or even if you have a Facebook fan page that you want to promote, I still want you to do this exercise simply because you have to get an idea of the frame of mind that a person is in. So recently I've been seeing a huge trend about survivalism. Let's say the government takes over, what happens? Or natural disasters, what happens? Do you have food and water and shelter and things like that to survive on? There is a movement called homesteading, and this basically includes people who want to create ways to be able to live without needing, modern day grocery stores or relying on the government to live and things like that. Basically being able to live independently. Now, if I want to create a Facebook fan page, or let's say I do have a Facebook fan page on that, I want to know what kind of frame of mind and what kind of demographics of the type of person am I trying to reach. Because if you really don't know and you're just guessing, and this is a guessing game, then guess what? Your conversions are going to be a guessing game as well. You're not going to know exactly what type of content to provide your fans. So go to quantcast.com, and that's the reason why we want to use the site. So what I would do is I would type in keywords that relate to that specific niche. So we can type in survivalism and see what we get. So it doesn't look like we have anything here, but if I type in survival, you can see, survival list, which is another keyword. And we see this specific site is getting traffic, but it doesn't give us demographics, which is down below here. So let's keep looking until we find a site that fits our niche and that gives us demographics. Okay, so I finally found a site that fits what we're looking for. And my suggestion to you is, if you can't find a site that fits, let's say for example, survivalism, then look for other keywords that fits that realm, like homesteading or other things like that. So as we can see here, we can actually see the demographics here, and this tells us exactly the type of person so that we can visualize the type of person. And we can actually input this data later down the road if you choose to do Facebook ads or something. But as of now, we're using the data to get an idea of who we want to reach. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up Notepad, and I'm just going to jot this down. Now, as we can see here, looks like males are 101 and female is 99. But it looks like the majority is male. But females are about equivalent as well. So we could say some females, but primarily males. And then the age bracket that seems to be searching for this is primarily 35 years old to 44 years old. Now, that seems to be a very close tie between 35 to 64. So obviously we're seeing a male figure, 35 to 64. Most likely they have possibly families, spouses, and so forth that they might be taking care of, and therefore they want to watch out for. Now, this obviously, I thought maybe more kids, but in actuality it says 114 with no kids. So that's something interesting, because a lot of times we think we know the market, but actually the market is quite opposite of what we think. So as we can see here, the majority seems to be 150K and above. So sounds like high career type males, concerned about the economy maybe, and they may be looking to, as a backup plan, what to do next. Now, it looks like the majority are college education, and the good thing about Facebook is you can actually target, college education and things like that. Caucasian, it looks like, is the majority, big time majority. And to be honest, I know a good amount of people who fit this criteria and are the survivalism type people. Urban disasters, natural disasters, what do you do in that case kind of thing. So now that I've done my demographics, I can understand and have a better idea of who I'm reaching. Because if you have a better idea of who you're reaching, now you know who to attract, right? There we go. Now, the second question that I want to answer is, how do you know the frame of mind that they are in? Well, I like to see what kind of stuff they are buying. So I tend to go to Amazon to figure that out. If I can get an idea of, okay, now I have demographics, now I want to figure out what do they buy, that will answer my question as to what kind of problems they might have, what kind of solutions they are looking for, and what kind of content I could potentially provide them. So I go to Amazon.com and I type in here survival, and Amazon gives you suggestions, keyword suggestions, and we can see here survival gear, survival kits. And if I type in survivalism, I can actually see how to survive the end of the world, how to shoestring, survivalism, survival handbook. And if I really want to get deep in to their mindset, what I'll do is I'll find a product that has really high ratings like this, and I will actually buy it. If they have a Kindle version, that will be helpful because then I can download the Kindle version right away and just scan through it and have an idea of what kind of content I can provide them. So hopefully this gives you some good ideas on not just demographics, but how to get content and how to figure out the frame of mind. So as you can see, it's super duper easy. I go for the digital Kindles, books, and I figure out more information from that point on. You can also look for other equipment like things that they buy besides books, just to get a feel for other things that they buy besides the frame of mind. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of demographics and frame of mind. The next thing I want to talk about is we're going to go on and head on to Facebook, and we're going to figure out some groups that are active and get an idea of how we could possibly model some of these groups and get an idea of how active these groups are, because we definitely want to have an engaging community, right? Better engagement, better conversions. So welcome back. This is video number 3, find groups with active fans. So this is going to be a short exercise before we actually find and recruit active fans. But before we do that, we want to go to Facebook, and at the very top, you're going to type in the keyword that relates to your specific Facebook fan page. So remember, we're targeting the frame of mind of a male person, demographic wise, who is specifically interested in natural disasters, surviving them, bug out bags, what to pack, what to stock up, and things like that. So keeping that in mind, what I want you to do is go to Facebook and up at the top, enter the keyword. So that's the type of Facebook fan page I'm looking for. You don't want to just type this in and, let's say, pick the first one at the top. For example, this one here. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the Facebook fan page fits our demographics. And then we'll actually do another test in the next video. But for now, all I want you to do is simply go to Facebook, type in the keyword, and look for a specific fan page that relates to what you are trying to focus on. So as we can see here, this would look more like the survivalists that I'm trying to reach. Be prepared, be self-reliant, be ready. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this up in a new window, and I'm going to open this one up in a new window, and I'm going to do the same thing here, the same thing here. So let's take a look at them. So what we're looking for is how engaging their community is. So as we can see, they don't have a lot of likes. They only have 1,501 likes. But if the community is fairly active within that number itself, that's a good sign. So for example, we see that this site is not necessarily updated as much, but they are getting a lot of likes, they are getting a lot of shares, and they are getting a lot of comments. So what you're looking for is you're taking a look at all the pieces of content and seeing how engaging their community is. So for example, if you only see maybe one piece of content, and that piece of content out of, let's say, 50 pieces of content, only that piece of content is getting likes, shares, and comments, then that might be not a good sign. But if every single piece of content you're looking at has some sort of interaction, that is a good sign. So looks like these guys don't have a whole lot of content, but yet they still have a good amount of engagement, so that's good. This is February 3rd, so that's a lot more recent. So we can see that there is one share, there's a couple likes, there's a couple likes, there's a lot of likes here, there's a lot of comments. So I'm beginning to see that this specific niche is very engaging. Okay, so that's just an interest page. So does that answer my question? Is this an active group? Yes, I can see that this topic is very active. Now, if you are at a point where you're finding that your topic is not as active, I recommend that you keep looking. If those data, those test results come back showing you that it's not as active, then you may want to look at a different niche. So this is a good test to figure it out before you create a Facebook fan page. If you've already created a Facebook fan page, then you can see that you may not necessarily be getting as much engagement. But I want to advise you to make sure to look at as many different Facebook fan pages as possible, because just looking at one is not going to tell you it all. Looking at 10, 30, 40, or even 50 different pages, and they all are very engaging or they're all very not engaging, that tells you a good hunch about the market. So there we go. Now, let's say you have found a niche that is really active. What do you do next? Well, I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Now that you have found engaging and active niches by looking at active groups within Facebook, now it's time to move on to video number 4. We're going to pinpoint and recruit fans. Now, this is the time that we actually build your Facebook fan page and grow it in terms of getting really active fans, because this is where you want to get super high engagement. So assuming that you've already created your Facebook fan page, I'm going to get started and show you exactly what to do. So this strategy is really easy. It just takes about 15 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour a day, depending on how frequently you want to do it. And you can ultimately outsource this, but I recommend that you do this first and foremost so you have a better understanding of how you can do it. And that way you can teach it. So first things first, you want to switch your account so that it shows up as your Facebook fan page. So if you click on this drop down here, or sometimes it'll be a little widget, you can change it and it says use Facebook as your Facebook fan page. So basically what you want to do is you want to switch it to your Facebook fan page. That way, when you communicate with active fans of the other pages, they will see your likes, they will see your comments, and things like that. Now, remember, your goal is not to just get as many fans as you can to your Facebook fan page. Your goal is to get quality fans who are very active, and you usually can tell which person is quite active. They tend to either like or comment. I prefer to go after fans who tend to comment, because it's one thing to like, that shows proactiveness, but it's another thing to actually make a comment. If you find people who make comments, they tend to be vocal, they may cause controversy, but hey, they will engage with you and your content. They are active and they are passionate about a certain subject. So if we go to the site over here, what we can do is we can take a look at the shares, at the comments, and at the likes. And our goal is to figure out, okay, if somebody makes a lot of comments on a frequent basis, what I want you to do is just like their comment and make a comment in reply to their comment. and then message them and say, hey, I saw that you posted so and so message on this specific post. So what happens there is, if somebody is already in that frame of mind and they are passionate about that specific topic, then guess what? They're most likely going to join your Facebook fan page. And especially if you reach out to them and message them and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. And that's basically the gist of this method. And what I would suggest that you do is keep doing this so you have a better idea of your audience. And as you grow your fan base, even if it's 25 people or 50 people, the fact of the matter is those people are the types of people that have a high engagement. From that point, if you want to use Facebook ads and use the demographics that I just showed you earlier to build a Facebook ad campaign, you can do that. But the reason why I tell you to do this method first and foremost is because you've built a foundation. You've built a small group of people who are active. So let's say you do use Facebook fans, like Facebook ads, to build your Facebook fans. From that point on, let's say you get 1,000 fans. 1,000 fans come to your site. What are they going to look at? They're going to look at how active your fan base is, because it's contagious. If your fan base is not active at all, nobody's liking it, nobody's commenting on it, they're probably not going to want to comment on it as well. So that's the strategy here. And that's basically it. Hey, and welcome to video number 5. We're going to talk about your fan page engagement. In other words, how should you post your content? How frequently should you post your content? And what kind of content should you post? And where can you get some ideas on what type of content to post? Well, let's talk about that. In terms of frequency, you need to ensure that your page has a lot of content before you get a lot of fans to your page. That's why I say focus on the first few that are very engaging first, and then begin to build upon that later down the road. Now, I would recommend maybe about 2 to 3 posts per day. At least 2 to 3 or more per post per day. The more posts you have, the more engagement you're likely going to get. Now, keep in mind that not all the posts that you post are going to be viewed by everyone. And you can always use Facebook post boosts. That means you boost a specific post so that just about everybody sees your post. Now, I don't really recommend that until you actually grow your fan base to a larger base. So we're starting small and we're building upon that. Now, in terms of what kind of content you should post, well, if we take a look at the survivalist niche, we can see here that there are very extreme cases. There's really, really extreme a case on one side that posts a lot of different types of content. And then we have the type of survivalism on like how to open a can without a can opener, or tools of any kind such as this, or how to do homesteading and live independently without the need for the government and for things of that nature. Or if natural disasters happen, what can you do? How can you survive? And things like that. So you want to get an idea of what kind of content you want to focus on. So in this case, let's say I want to create a Facebook fan page specifically focused on helping people survive natural disasters. What can they do? How can they live independently? And so forth. So what I would normally do is I would go through Facebook fan pages as such, find the most engaging posts and post something similar. Now, I don't recommend that you copy them, but do something similar of that nature. Because instead of reinventing the wheel, you have something that is already proven to you that works. Now, in terms of getting more content, I would revisit Amazon.com, specifically Kindle books. Now, if you take a look at Kindle books, for example, this book here that says Shoestring Survivalism, How to Prepare for Bad Times on a Budget. So if we click on this Kindle edition here, and we just take a look at the table of contents, we can get a better idea of what kind of content that we can create. So what I recommend that you do, don't copy this. That's plagiarism. That's not right. But I recommend that you take a look at different books, jot it down, maybe print this here out, right here, and then take a look at the other books. Compare apples to apples. Get an idea of these books within the niche. What are they all saying? What are they all not saying? Even read the comments. See if you can find complaints. People might say, well, I like this book, but it didn't necessarily cover this, this, and this. So jot that down. What is this, this, and this? If you can see a pattern between all of these books that a lot of people are saying, okay, they're not necessarily saying this, I'm still frustrated because I don't have the answers to the specific questions. If that's the case, guess what? You could build your own report. You could write up your own report, give it away as a freebie to build your list or to get people to your Facebook fan page. So that in itself is a great way to build a lot of engagement, a lot of content that people really want, especially if other people, other authors are not covering that content. So I hope you learned a lot in this specific video. It's really basic, but it's really powerful if you do it right. So congratulations, you've reached the end of this video series and you understand the method, but you understand that it does take time. So for those of you who have less time and you want to be able to outsource this, well, I want to show you exactly how to do that. Well, it's easy to outsource it and automate or semi-automate the process. Now that you understand how it works, what I recommend that you do, as I said earlier, is to actually do it for yourself for about a week. Once you have a better understanding of your market and how to go about doing this, then I guarantee you that you will learn things along the way. While you learn things along the way, it is easier for you to pinpoint someone who will be good and someone who you can teach exactly what to do. Because a lot of people make the mistake of just, okay, this is a great idea, I'm going to outsource it. And then they don't understand the process, and without doing so, make the mistake of hiring somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing. So that's the best way to teach it. Do it first, then teach it, and you'll be able to find somebody who will do a good job. Now, I recommend a site called odesk.com. And it looks like this. If you go to this page and you go to hire freelancers, you will see a search box, which will allow you to search for people who might be good for this. Now, I personally like to find somebody who is passionate about the topic that my Facebook fan page is all about. So if you find somebody who may not necessarily agree with your Facebook fan page, whether it's the idea, the concept, or anything, and then just getting them to do it is not going to help at all, because guess what? They're not passionate about the idea. Therefore, the engagement with the other Facebook fans that are active fans may not go as well. Now, how do you do that? How do you find somebody who is interested in your topic? Well, it's easy. What I recommend that you do is you post a job. You specifically say, hey, all I need is for somebody for an hour a day who has passion in this area, who is passionate about this area. Now, there are many people out there who are good at social media, and you can type in social media. You don't necessarily have to find somebody who is in the realm of social media, but you want to find somebody who is good at communicating. So one little tidbit is to communicate with those people who apply on the job and see how well they communicate. Are their language, in whatever your language that you're looking for, is it good? Or is it unreadable? Or do the way that it talk, they don't understand what you're saying and things like that. So that's really how to gauge it, is by communicating with them yourself. And that way you figure out from that point, okay, they're good at talking, they're good at communicating. How can I find somebody who is passionate? Now, most likely you're going to find somebody who is either really passionate or they're not necessarily passionate, but they know a little bit about the idea and it really intrigues them. If it intrigues them, that's a good sign as well. I would not find somebody, if you can't find somebody who is either passionate or possibly is passionate or interested in the idea, because that could actually hurt you down the road. Now with Odesk, I like it because it's really easy to find people here. And the way you do it is you type in a keyword and you can search by feedback score. So usually I'll choose somebody with 4.5 and above. So we'll click on this. And basically what Odesk does is it narrows people down. So we could change it to, let's say, hourly rate, no more than $5, because what we're asking is just somebody to go on a Facebook fan page, find active users, find active fans, communicate with them, and that's it. Not too complex. Now, from this point, I normally choose at least 1 hour, because I don't really want anyone who is a new account unless they're referred by somebody else that I know. And any location is fine. So from that point, you can post a job and see the applicants, see how they communicate with you and so forth, all the stuff that I discussed, and use your due diligence. And you can give them a test, see how they work. If they don't do well, delete them from your Facebook admin and go find somebody else. Now, when you give them admin rights, make sure that they only have the ability to really post or write. You don't really want to give them rights to delete your Facebook fan page, for example. So you want to make sure that you find somebody trustworthy and that they are liking their work, which is crucial, because if they like their work, the output of the work that they are doing will be a lot better. So there you go. So congratulations, you're almost done. You've reached the last module where we're going to talk about how to create awesome content at a really rapid pace. Because I know you're busy, I know you're probably thinking, well, content creation does take time. But the reality is, yes, it does take time, but if you know how to create content really, really fast, then it should not take you longer than a couple of hours. So let's jump right in. Video number 7 is about creating exciting video intros. Now, the reason why I don't talk about how to create a video right away, and I talk about how to create exciting intros, is because creating a video intros helps you brand your video. So you want to create a good video that is branded to your company, that is exciting, that you can tack on the front end of your other videos. So once you create your video intro, you're set and done. You can create your other videos and be done with it. And that brings us, of course, to video number 18, which is gaining trust through educational/edutainment videos. So videos that are educational, gain trust, position you as the authority, and at the same time are interesting. Video number 19 is going to be rapid speed content creation. So at this point, I know you're thinking, well, we've covered video intros and videos, but I want to learn how to create content really, really fast. So in this specific video, we're actually going to dive into that, and you're going to learn a lot so that you can create content at a super fast speed. And I'm really saying you can create 10 pieces of content within less than half an hour. So with that said, the last video will be the final recap as we recap everything that you've learned in the video series itself. So with that said, let's jump right in. In this specific video, we're going to be talking about creating simple video intros that will help upgrade your video branding. Have you ever noticed how some companies have these professional videos at the very beginning, like these introduction clips showing that their logo or a catchy blurb? Well, these are really great for branding and they can really help your video stand out. And I'm going to show you how you can make them. This is the secret ingredients. Basically, your intro video has to be anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds max. Don't go beyond this point. It can do less, but normally 10 to 15 seconds is a good range for your logo to come in and disappear, or your logo and come in, then your slogan, and then they both leave. In order to do this, you're going to need to have an audio soundtrack. Audio Jungle is a great site. I'm going to show you all this in just a few seconds. Graphics, you're going to need some graphics. So graphicsriver.net is good. After Effects video clips, videohive.net is good. And then of course, when you're done, make sure that you have them rendered as a .mp4 file for best quality. And of course, we're going to get somebody else to do this for us. So let me show you how to do it quickly and easily. Now, before we actually talk about getting the graphics, getting the video After Effects files, and so forth, let's hop on over to Fiverr.com. And the reason why is because we want to do a search for people who can create video intros for us, because we're not actually going to do this because it's very, very time consuming to actually do. So you want to make sure that you get somebody else to do it for around $5 to $10. So it's not too expensive and you can get a really professional intro video. So go to Fiverr, type in video intro, click on rating so that we make sure that the best of the best is at the top. And it says here, I will create a professional looking design video. Okay, we want an intro. We don't really want a video. So we got this here. I will speed paint your logo. Huh, that's interesting. Professional intro or opener video. So sometimes people use jargon. We could say something like opener video. Let's see here. I will create a professional particle logo revealer, opener video. Okay, so let's say we'll start from that point. I'll make a clean, corporate, elegant intro video for you. So if we click this link here, just take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so that's fairly simple, and simple is good and powerful. As long as it shows the logo, comes in and leaves, but it stays enough that people can actually see it. Okay, so I will make an introduction video. Okay, so 1,288 positive reviews, no negative reviews, that's good. 1 day. Okay, that's really good. I like that. I will speed paint your logo with 3 to 4 colors. Now that's really neat here too. Wow. So if you want something like that, you could do something depending on the feel of your niche. Like if your niche is very corporate, you probably don't want to go with something like this. Plus you got to wait 13 days, which I don't want to wait 13 days. So I'm going to close this out. So just keep that in mind. Your introduction has to be done in a way that it actually appeals to your audience. We got this one here, which is actually quite professional. That's pretty neat. And then we got this person here, so that's 3 days. This is 24 hours, and this is 1 day. And just basically go through all of these and see which ones you like. So let's say that, for example, that I like this person and this person. This person does it in 24 hours. Something. Now, one thing you do have to make sure, though, about Fiverr.com or any other site is these people will say that they have a variety or access to certain video intros and things like that. But some of these video intros were actually created by other people. And if they just grab it from somewhere and don't actually have the royalty rights to do so, then you could actually get in trouble. So that's just something to keep in mind in terms of legalities. So one thing you can do is contact these people and say, hey, do you know After Effects, or do you know how to do After Effects? And go to a place like videohive.net, which is what I talked about earlier, is simply go through here and look for intros. So if you go here and you click on openers, this is really, really neat. But if you click on sales and see which ones people buy, let's see. So you could do this, for example, and just you could actually view the video preview and see what it looks like. So it's kind of an opener here, but I'm going to close this down. But in order to use it, you have to pay $35 and so forth. So some of these openers are $35, some of them are like $5 and $10 and so forth, as you can see here. And then keep in mind that you do need to get an audio file from Audio Jungle, and it starts from $1, but a lot of these are about, I'd say, anywhere good from $8 to $14. So, I mean, it can add up if you choose to go this route. But if you want to keep it simple, you could just get somebody like this to just give them your logo and have them do it. And you could do without the soundtrack. But if it was me, I would go with the soundtrack simply because it looks more professional, and just go down that route. Now, graphicsriver.net is a great place to get graphics, and if you don't have a logo, you can also get a pre-made logo here if you don't want to get logos created. But also, graphics complement the logos, so you can get a graphic that complements your logo and not too expensive either. Now, so it's up to you what you want to do. Like I said, you want to keep it simple. You can always just use this, give this person the logo, and just be done with it. Or you can go all out, get yourself some stock audio files, stock footage, and so forth. But make sure you first go to Fiverr.com, find the person that you want, communicate with them, and then only then start gathering graphics and audio files and so forth in the end. Because the biggest mistake that you can make is get all of that stuff and not find somebody who can actually make you an intro video. And that's it. As you can see, start with the basics. It's only $5 and you get a pretty professional intro video that you can add to the beginning of all your videos. In this specific video, you're going to learn how to position your brand as trustworthy through educational videos. Why educational videos? Well, most people, if you think about it, when they run a business or they sell a product or sell a service, they want to sell. And a lot of people, especially like car salesmen, and it's not to generalize, but a lot of car salesmen, a lot of specific industry salespeople like to sell, 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 and hard sell, and people just hate it. And while it can work in specific situations, if you sell, 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 that's what you're going to brand yourself or your company as. So you want a way to position yourself as trustworthy, as helpful, and things like that. So educational videos, on the other hand, sticks in your customers' minds. And when I say educational, I mean something that's actually helpful. And it sticks in their mind because you're different. It simply gains their trust and helps you stand out from the rest of your competitors. If people can learn just 1 or 2 or 3 tips per video, then you've really stood out. So what I want to do now is I want to show you a formula for creating these types of videos. What you can do in each specific video is use this video formula to quickly and easily create a video. First things first, what you want to do is find just one tip that could really help your customers. Now, in the specific video, start building a connection by describing the problem that they're facing. In other words, relate to them. Say, I understand you have this problem or you're facing this issue. And I've been there and done that, but I found a solution, blah, blah, blah. And then your solution, break it up into parts. And for each part, basically focus on describing in a little more detail the whys, the who, what, when, the wheres, and so forth. And talk about the tips or show how to resolve this in a step-by-step sequence. Now, there's several different ways of creating videos, but the way I create videos is a step-by-step sequence simply because people want to know, okay, step number 1, what do I do? Step number 2, after I do this, how do I go about doing that, and things like that. And it's just easier, to create. Now, if you can use a screen capture video or an iPhone, that's fine. Depending on what your company is, what your service is, what kind of video you're creating, because there's so many different variables here and variations of videos. So I can't necessarily give you one specific formula that's going to work for everything. But if you figure out what kind of video is it something where I can show somebody using my computer? And if that's the case, what kind of software should I use? Or is it something that I can just speak on through an iPhone and show them how to do a certain thing? Is that possible? Now, there's several ways to go about doing this. And as long as you understand that first you start with a problem, you relate to them, you provide the solution, and you provide the call to action. The call to action could be something like, oh, check out my site if you want more details, or you want more, information on such and such. So if you do a Google search for Camtasia Studio, you'll find the site techsmith.com/camtasia.html. But basically, this is the video recording software that I'm using right now. And as you can see, it's very easy to use, and it can basically record anything that you see on the screen, whether it's PowerPoint, whether it's internet browser, or anything on your computer. So if your educational video can be a PowerPoint slide or something that's related to this, then this is a great software. Now, this is obviously, I believe it's $300 last time I checked or paid for it. And so it is a bit pricey. Only use this if you are going to, in the long run, do a lot of screen capture videos. Now, if you do a few here and there, then I'd recommend a software called Jing, which is offered by the same people that create Camtasia. And Jing is a very similar product, but very, very easy to use as well. And basically not as feature-rich as Camtasia, but does the job. Now, if you're showing a how-to step-by-step video that requires you either to show live pictures of, okay, step one, walk to the fridge, step two, look in the fridge and stuff like that, step three, grab this product or something, step four, open it up and this and that. So I'm just giving you an example of a step-by-step type thing that you can use Animoto for. Now, Animoto is really easy. I want to show you really quickly how to create something really cool. But let's say I choose Animoto Original. And if you play it, it'll give you a preview of what it looks like. So we've got pictures, and then you can add text and things like that. But if I click on Create Video here, okay, so let's say, for example, that I want to make a quick video as a realtor to show people how to sell a house and some specific strategies that somebody could use to sell a house. So what I would do here is go through the Animoto dashboard here, and you can change the style, you can change the music, you can add pics and videos, but the videos can only be, I believe it's only 6 seconds long. So you could do video clips if you wanted to. But if you add pics and you click on upload pictures and video, let's say, for example, that I just pick and choose a few of these pictures. Let's say, okay, it's a house. So I'm going to pick this one, this one, this one. Let's see, this one, maybe this one and this one. And just click on open. And what it's going to do is basically upload all of the pictures and or video clips that you have. And as you can see, it's really, really fast. And obviously, you probably could do a better job when you actually look at it. But just for the sake of doing it really quickly, let's say, for example, okay, you're a busy person, you have a house, you don't know how to sell the house. So what you can do is look at the market, blah, blah, blah. Or go on your computer, look at the market, and then do this and that, and you get your house sold. So you could say add text and say, so I can say something that says, in a buyer's market, 1 out of 300 people actually sell their house in a year. And just keep in mind that I'm just making this up as I go. This is not really factual at all or anything like that. And click on add text again. I could say learn one strategy to sell your house within less than 2 months. Even if you're a busy person, click on save. So kind of, okay, this guy is a busy person. And then maybe I could put this here. And then I could say, okay, go online to Zillow.com, which is like a site for real estate, and put your house on the site and do the following. So that's to go online, that's the computer. And then you can say, analyze these specific housing market variables. And then just say blah, 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 blah. And then our customers have been able to sell their houses within an average of 2 months max. And then we've got this here and here and here. So obviously the meat of this educational video would be in here, when we talk about analyzing specific variables and actually doing a specific thing. But as you can see, I've made a quick and easy tutorial with Animoto. And the beauty of it all is all I have to do is click save, click on preview video, and I'm going to play the video. This is in a buyer's market, 1 out of 300 people actually sell their house in less than a year. So we get a picture of a house, and as you can see, it looks really professional. And this is where the tip comes. Go online to Zillow.com and put your house on the site and do the following. So this is kind of in the middle where you start giving people that solution. So we got the problem, the solution, and then of course the call to action. So that's pretty much it. And when you want to produce it, click on produce, and within minutes Animoto usually produces the video, and you've got a quick and easy educational video. And I already did this in less than probably 3-4 minutes or 5 minutes, and that's it. In this specific video, I'm going to be talking about how to boost your brand through Facebook posts. Now, the way you promote and brand yourself on social media sites is not by saying, hey, buy this, or hey, buy that. I mean, nobody likes to be sold to. The key is to provide tips, advice, and something useful and fun people can use that relates to your products. If you do this, then your fans will share your page with their friends, and in reality, they will promote you because you have something of value to give them. Now I want to show you a specific strategy that you can use to rapidly create posts, especially if you don't have a lot of time. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't have a lot of time to use Facebook. I don't have a lot of time to just hang out on there and create posts. I don't know where to start and this and that. I'm going to show you a specific method that you can use right away, starting today, where you can take the stuff that you already have and just create posts like crazy. So posts are basically tiny pieces of information that pack a powerful punch. So it could just be a 1 sentence or 2 sentences. So here's the thing. Think about this. Take one article, one email that you've written to a client, or an email that you've written to a business partner, or take a newsletter that you wrote and just look at it. If you look at it, you're going to see many, many different points. And by points, I mean different top 10 ways to do this, or 5 things to avoid, or just little angles, little tidbits here and there. Those little points could produce X amount of posts. The same goes with video. Video, phone conversations, audio, podcasts, and things like that can produce X amount of points and X amount of posts. So, for example, one article could produce 5 to 10 different posts. An email could produce 5 to 10, 20 different X amount of points and posts. The same with video. But the thing with video and audio and podcasts, because people talk faster and usually within an amount of 5 minutes, you've already produced yourself the same amount of content for an article. So if you have, let's say, a conversation between your client, or a conversation between you and a business friend or a business partner, then you could easily have that transcribed, or just listen to it and pick out a bunch of points that can produce posts. So as you can see, this is very, very powerful. But if you take an article, email, newsletter, video, audio, and podcast, you could ultimately create over 100 posts within just that amount of information. And you can simply queue it up and have somebody post it, either every day or every few days or every week. You could also use images, put quotes or helpful tips on images and get them spread around Facebook by your fans through viral marketing. And I'm sure you've seen this, especially if you hang out on Facebook, you've seen these images with these quotes on them or these viral images, and people just start liking them. And think about it, if you put it on your Facebook fan page and somebody likes it and they share it on their page, then their friends begin to like it and they begin to see who you are, your brand, and so forth. And they want to know more information about who you are. And you can also have giveaway contests for your fans who share your helpful tips. And that's another great way to get them to spread your posts. So let me go ahead and show you an example, a live example where I take an article that I've never read before and just create tons of ideas from it using this simple strategy. So let's go do that now. Okay, so I'm at google.com right here, and I'm going to use the simple strategy that I just taught you to figure out as many points as possible by looking at an article that I've never looked at before. So one thing that I saw the other day was chicken coops, and I personally have no interest whatsoever in chicken coops. However, I want to show you the strategy so you can see that you can pretty much take this strategy and use it on anything. So let's say, for example, chicken coops. Let's see, how to build chicken coops. So we got videos here. You could have the transcriber just transcribe this. But we're going to pick an article. Let's see here, how to build a chicken coop. Okay, I'm going to pick this. I've never looked at this article before. And let's see here, how to build chicken coops. Raising chicken is a simple hobby that provides eggs. Like all animals, chicken requires suitable housing. Okay, so that could be like a point. Chickens require suitable housing, and then point them to this article or something. You don't need complicated plans as long as the chicken basic needs are met. I mean, there you go. That could be like a post right there. Number one, put the coop in a high spot. You want to make sure that like right there, that could be a post, that could be post, that could be a post, that could be post. In this article, you got about 13 posts or more. See how easy it is to create a post? And even with videos, I want to show you something cool. If I click on this video, for example, YouTube has what we call transcripts. What they do is for every single video, they create a transcript. Now, some people turn these off, but most people don't. So, how to build a chicken coop. If we click on, let's see here, transcript. How to build a chicken coop. Okay, so look at this. I mean, look at how much content there is for the specific video. And let's say, for example, that you have an audio conversation that you're going to record with your friends so that you can create as much post as you can within an hour. What you could do is simply cut that up into 9-minute or 10-minute. I forgot YouTube's limit, but I think it's 9-10 minutes. But you can split it up into 10 minutes each, upload it to YouTube, and just have them create a transcript for you. Or just have somebody else at Fiverr.com or another site like Fiverr.com. You can find people to do transcribing and just transcribe a specific video. But I find this way is just easier just to look at their transcripts. And as you can see, how to build a chicken coop. A chicken coop provides shelter for chickens. The coop comfortably fits. Okay, so if you can find cool tips out of this video, I mean, think about that. You could just create posts and posts and posts over and over again. So that's how you do video. Like I said, you could do audio, simply upload it to YouTube or get somebody else to transcribe it. Articles, emails, newsletters, the same thing. Now let's pick something else. Like let's say how to, I don't know, knit a quilt. I have no such interest in any of these, but I want to show you how simple it is to just use this strategy on just about anything you can to create really cool, valuable Facebook posts that actually add value. So let's see here. See, leftovers projects. A knitted quilt. That could be a post. That one sentence could be a post. And you could just turn a lot of these other little sentences into posts that you might find valuable and tell somebody something that they just didn't know beforehand. So now you know the strategy. You don't have any excuses not to implement this because it's so easy, as you can see here. So go ahead, use a strategy, create 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 300 posts in advance, and then just hire somebody either to queue it all up, or you can use software systems as well to, automatically post your Facebook posts and things like that. So there you go. Congratulations, you've reached the end of this video course. This is video number 20, and we're going to do a final recap. We want to make sure that you take everything that you have learned and you put it all into action. So remember, video 1 and 2 was about the introduction, but also getting that plan of action created for your business. So I want to ask you a question. Have you actually jotted everything down? If you haven't, go ahead and do that. And if you haven't, go ahead and watch that video again and make sure you jot everything down, because at the end of this video series, you should, and I hope you have, already had answers to those questions, so that you have that plan of action, you can begin to take action and begin to meet your goals. And then, of course, in module number 2 was all about getting your brand ready for Facebook. Hopefully by now you have the idea on how to create company slogans that stick, tapping into the subconscious mind with colors, and utilizing colors to create an environment, using colors in your logo, using colors on your website, using colors in your videos, and everywhere else. And then, of course, how to upgrade your logos, how to create your logos, how to brand your company with mascots, and much more. And in module 3, just to recap here, remember you learned about the core of this course, which was about driving free traffic with Facebook. But instead of focusing on 10,000 fans, you focus on 100 fans, or even 200 or 300 or even 50 fans to start out with, and just focus on them, grow that relationship, and get things going. And then, of course, we talk about demographics. You got to know that, because here's the thing. Once you understand the demographics and the frame of mind that people are in, that are your fans, then you can take other courses like Facebook ad traffic and ad marketing. So besides the basic free marketing of Facebook, you can do Facebook ads, because you've done your research, you've figured out the demographics, and you can simply plug and play, plug the demographics, the gender, the area that they're in, and you have a good mind of the demographics. Now you can actually plug and play into your Facebook ad campaigns and grow your Facebook fan page. And then we talked about high engagement groups, how to find them, how to find the high engaging fans, how to seek them, how to find them, how to engage with them, and how to get them onto your Facebook fan page, how to outsource and automate the whole process. And then we were brought to module 4, which was creating awesome content. I talked to you how to create video intros, how to create educational edutainment type videos using Animoto. We talked about rapid speed content creation, so you should have enough information to use to simply go out there, create content super fast for your niche. So don't wait, make sure that you take action, because if you don't, all of the stuff is just wisdom and knowledge that is just sitting there. So make sure you take action and get some traffic to your Facebook fan page, and look forward to hearing about your success story.